manual 911, come on. A couple of weeks ago, you might have seen I did a video on a Porsche Turbo S, and I was very, very lucky to be lent one by Porsche themselves, and I adored it. It was absolutely mind-bendingly fast. It was a wicked machine. It made me feel very special. It was just, the whole thing was fabulous. And I thank them very much for that. If you haven't seen that film, go and watch that one. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. It really helps us out, and ring the little bell. Now, I had a bit of a think after I drove that car, and I thought, you know what, I would buy one, all the money in the world. You go and buy one and you'd be super happy with it. But if you don't have all the money in the world, but you still want something that's a little bit similar to that, and bear with me here, this week I am in a 991 Gen 2 Carrera T. Now, I know that sounds ridiculous because the Carrera T is a 3-litre turbocharged engine that, you know, normally produces just shy of 400 horsepower. This Carrera T, on the other hand, has been fettled by the masters that are Litchfield. The people at Litchfield, they do all sorts of stuff. They do Alpines, they do McLarens, they do predominantly GTRs, and they give them like 1500 horsepower or something. But this car, they have taken all the things that were great about it, and in my opinion, just made it better. This car has 610 horsepower and 500 foot-pounds of torque. This is just such a beautifully spec car as well. It's got ceramic brakes on it. It's a manual. This manual gearbox is short and sharp and wonderful, and the clutch is light and easy. The pedals are in exactly the right place for heel and toe. It's just a delight. The seats are mega. They're from a 918 Spider, and they are just super cool, and they hug you, but they're not too uncomfortable. They're an absolute pig to get in and out of, but they're great. This one has the rear seat delete, which was an option on the Carrera T, and you know, I wouldn't do that because I'd want someone to occasionally go in the back, but I can appreciate that this comes across as potentially, for me, between the two cars that I think this is sort of aimed at, is a GT3 Touring, like a mini version of a GT3 Touring, and a Porsche Turbo, because obviously it's turbocharged. This car is so, it's it's magnificent. It's an absolute masterpiece. It sounds brilliant. It's got an Akrapovic exhaust on it. Also got a sports exhaust button here, so you can make it even louder, which is just wonderful. And yeah, it reminds me a lot. I've done a lot of miles in a GT3 Touring, and they are magnificent, and the way they rev all the way to 9, but this isn't as frantic. This for me is usable, more usable on an everyday basis than a GT3 Touring, but a fraction of the price. You can pick one of these up on the second-hand market for 70 grand, maybe 65. There are no manuals for sale at the moment because I went and looked yesterday, but oh, manual 911, come on. I mean, they're just, I'm in my happy place right now. I go on to everyone about how much I love 911s, and I know I'm another one of those people that do, but yeah, manual 911 with this 7-speed gearbox is just wonderful. The car has got spacers on all round. It's been widened at the front, and they've fettled the springs and dampers and everything, and it just gives it loads of front end feel, loads of grip. Now, the Magnetino styly knob down here that you twizzle and do whatever with has normal mode, sport plus mode, and individual mode, like on most cars these days. Now, apparently, in normal mode, this car has sort of 400 and something horsepower. It's, you know, Ian Litchfield said that it was the wet mode, you know, drive around in the wet. I tell you what, it feels to me like it's got plenty of power in that mode. But apparently, if you switch it around to the sport mode, all the engine management and all of the electrical gubbins in the car tell the car to give it 610 horsepower. Now, this is all being driven through the rear wheels, and it's not like the safety net of driving a turbo or a 992 turbo, which has the four-wheel drive system, which is absolutely magnificent and feels like you'd never come off the road, even if you got it absolutely horribly wrong. This car, I feel, could be a little bit more of a different animal. The throttle response already I can feel is sharper, more immediate. The turbos are fizzing and popping and banging behind me. I don't know if you can hear that on the camera, but they are, trust me. And you can hear them loads. They spool up and they're really exciting noise. The throttle response on this now is sharp. I mean, it feels like it wants to go. It feels like if anyone's ever ridden a horse or anything, like when they want to canter on, it's that sort of feeling. Yeah, this is. Oh yes, bloody hell. I mean, don't get me wrong, it doesn't feel to me as quick as the new turbo. Those are in reality on the road too fast anyway. This car feels, it bangs and pops and crackles. I didn't think that someone could take something from a manufacturer like Porsche and create something as special as this. This car has been, to me, they've done wonders with it. They are a crack team at Litchfield, and if you've never heard of them, go and have a little look on their website and see what they do. Jesus. Oh, it's a missile. It's amazing. Wow. And the steering feel is magnificent. The front end is wonderfully planted. But again, with a load of playfulness, I imagine you can really get the rear end moving on this car. But this is a brilliant car. And I know the new ones have just come out, but you're talking, you can get one of these now for, as I say, 70 grand. You can take it to Litcho, and in this in this form that it's in now, it will cost you an extra £10,000 to make it as quick and as exciting as a GT3, and who would want that? A GT3 touring is 200 grand. Best part of a Turbo S, the new one, 200 grand. This is not 200 grand. This is 80 grand, if that. I mean, I know where my money's going. A Carrera T, a Carrera GTS, they do them on those as well. They do all these kits on all of these turbocharged Generation 2 991s. And I honestly, go and have a little look and see what you think, because this is a magnificent machine. Me. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, this is great. Come out to my favourite place out in the Cotswolds. Great bits of road. It's perfect for a car like this because you don't have to do 1,000,000 miles an hour in one of these sort of smaller engine 911s to actually get real enjoyment out of it. Oh, I'm absolutely smitten again. I keep saying to everyone, all of these cars are amazing and go and buy one. I one day will say to you that I don't like one of these cars, but today isn't the day. Today is the day that I've fallen in love again. God, what a machine. God, blimey. The best part about this car is, turn off that. I know I'm in the big, carbon bucket seats, but you can bang it in 7th, ease it back down to 50 miles an hour, and you potter around. Now, this car could be used on a daily basis, but I also imagine you could go and do a track day in it. You could go to the Nürburgring, which I know Ian Litchfield himself has done, and he's driven it around Europe, and it is, I imagine it brings back good figures, miles per gallon. It's an absolute masterpiece. The dials are fantastic, steering wheel's wonderful, the Alcantara's lovely, pedal feel is great, the brakes are ceramics and they are mega things. I mean, it's an absolute piece of, it's a piece of fantastic engineering made even better, and I didn't know that was really possible. Go up there and have a look, have a talk to them, go and sit there and take your 991 over to them and say, look, I want it in this PTS colour, I want this exhaust, I want however much horsepower you want, go and get them to do this, because my word, it's good. Oh, manual. This thing is just, I love a manual gearbox. Oh God, it's so nice.